Hey everyone, my name's Kyle, and for the Food and Culture Project, the food that I chose was spaghetti. I do have Italian ancestry, so it kind of just seemed right to pick an Italian dish, and a lot of you know and love spaghettis and meatballs, so that's what I went with. It kind of does have a little tradition in our family. We usually have it for big celebration days, such as like graduation and birthdays. Our mom always makes this secret recipe up ever since we got back from a vacation in Italy. We loved it so much that she got a recipe from her mom, so our grandma, that she still continues to make today. But that's just a few of the quick reasons why that I chose this food today. Um, Spaghetti and meatballs came to be when Italian immigrants started coming to America in 1880 to 1920, and most of them were spending 75% of their income on food in Italy, as opposed to when they came to America, their total amount of income that had been spent on food was only about 25%. So you can see how it dropped when they came to America. They were able to provide and put more food on the table for their families. It stated in the article that I read that they were able to purchase a lot of pasta for cheap. They would just make up their own little meat sauce or just like plain sauce as it was, and they'd have that, and that lasted at least a week for them. So it was just when they came to America, it was a lot cheaper for them to live. Um, but I got the secret recipe out of my mom finally, and that contains 2 large cans of tomato sauce, 2 medium cans of tomato paste, a carton of mushrooms, 1 onion, 1 can of diced black olives, 4 cloves of garlic, some Italian seasoning, oregano, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And on the side, she did out 1.5 pounds of hamburger meat that she browned up before she put into the meat sauce or into the sauce. For a typical homemade spaghetti and meat sauce meal, one serving would equal about 329 calories. The total fat in one serving is going to be about 13 grams. And lastly, you'll be receiving about 33 grams of total carbs in one serving. That will be your number one macronutrient intake when having spaghetti, the carbs, and followed by the other macronutrients in one serving would be like 20 grams of protein and 13 grams of total fat. The micronutrients with the highest percentage contained in spaghetti will be the vitamin thiamine with zero point 0.5 milligrams a serving, and the mineral manganese containing about 1 milligram per selected serving. How she prepares this meal is first she always likes to cook the hamburger first, brown it up a little bit, and while she's doing that, she dices up all the mushrooms, onions, and olives, and then she mixes it all into one big pan. She crushes up about four to 4.5 cloves of garlic, and then she gets ready to mix everything in the big pot. Once she mixes everything and cooks the sauce for about 2 to 2.5 hours, she'll throw the meat in there, let that cook with it as well. And after about 3 to 3.5 total hours, she'll cook the noodles on the side, and then it's all prepared for us. We come up to dinner and have a great dinner. And by the time we're done with our 1 to 2 serving meal, everyone's overly satisfied with the way she prepared it. So that was the project, and that was my food that I chose. Thank you.
How often do you eat spaghetti?
I'd say I typically eat it about twice a week.
Okay. Why is spaghetti culturally relevant to you?
Well, I have Italian ancestry. A lot of my family is from Italy, which is why I eat it so frequently. When I was living at home, my mom used to make it at least like once or twice, typically a week. So, and like a couple other like Italian dishes. So I've always had a taste for it.
Okay. Why is this one of your favorite meals, would you say?
I'd say about the balance of the ingredients I gather. I like to put in corn, some garlic, oregano, onion, black olives. You name it, I'll throw a vegetable in there, try it, tomatoes. So, and like the balance of the tomato sauce and like Parmesan, I think I really like that, and it gets a good balance for me. So, and I get a lot of like good like macronutrients for the day.
Alrighty. What are some of your favorite sides to eat with spaghetti, would you say?
I'd say typically like 2 to 3 like pieces of garlic bread, and then other than that, I like to usually have like some greens, like a salad, some nice ranch dressing.
And lastly, do you believe spaghetti has changed over time, maybe with like different sort of recipes and stuff?
I'd say it has changed a little bit over time. Back in the day, it used to always be like spaghetti and meatballs, but today it's more of like a meat sauce. that you can either buy in the store, or you just like people like make their own tomato sauce, opposed to using actual meatballs. Like the meat's like, I guess what I'm trying to say, the meat's like in the tomato sauce that you can buy and things like
Sure.
that. So yeah, sometimes I usually like typically use ground beef though, and stuff like that.